Hi there, we are today going to factorize quadratics, where this a value here is 1. If that a value is not 1, it's a whole bunch harder, and we're not going to talk about that right now. All the ones we're doing today, that's 1. Okay. In order to do it, let's think back a little bit to previously we expanded this by FOIL. And so when you did it, you went your first, which was x squared, your outside one, which was 4x, plus your inside one, which was 3x, together made 7x, and the last would be plus 12. Ooh,
Whoops.
12.
There we go.
And so the question really is, how do we go from x squared plus 7x plus 12 to this? So now we want to go backwards. Well, in order to do it, well, here's a couple steps to think about. First thing we're going to do is list the factors of 28. So for this example here. So the factors of 28 are...
It's good to put them in pairs, right? So we've got like 1 times 28.
Yep, there's one pair.
That's one pair.
2 and 14.
Yep, that works. And then 4 and 7, right?
4 and 7. Those are all our factors of 28. Now, I always ask myself which ones add or subtract to 11. Well, I can't add or subtract those to 11. Neither of those. But 4 plus 7 is 11. This is the pair I'm looking for. This one works really nicely. And so, writing out in brackets, we get, I put the x in the x, and the 7 in the 4, and I think they added to get 11, this value here, and so that means they must both be positive. If I had to subtract to get 11, then I would have to think about positives and negatives a little bit more carefully.
Okay.
So,
and if it's plus 28 at the end, it's either both positive or both negative, right?
Right, exactly. So we're looking for what values multiply to get 28, and then they're going to add or subtract to get 11, the middle number. Okay, so let's go do another example. So in doing this, I'm thinking about the factors of 50. Well, factors of 51, 50, 5 and 10, 2 and 25. There might be some more, but those are the most common ones I can think of off the top of my head.
I can't think of any more.
Is that it? Okay, so I'm asking myself what multiplies to get 50, and now they have to add to get, or subtract to get negative 15.
Okay. So we're remembering as well that like negative 1 times negative 50 is 50. Negative 5 times negative 10 is plus 50 as well.
Right.
Okay, but we don't necessarily have to write them all out again, right?
Right. So now, because it's both plus and minuses on both of them. So I'm looking to get negative 15. I cannot add or subtract those anyway to get 15. But this pair here, I can combine those to get 15. So I know it's going to be an x and an x from the x squared term here, and a 5 and a 10. They have to multiply to get a positive 50.
That means the signs are the same, right?
Right. So those are both positive, both negative, and they have to combine to get negative 15. Well, the only way that's going to be possible is if they're both negative. Should we do a check?
Do a quick check. Yep.
That's x squared minus 10x minus 5x and plus 50. So x squared minus 15x plus 50. We know we're right. Try another one. So we have here, and we have x squared minus 5x minus 50. So the same factors, 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 10. I know it's going to be factoring means I have these parentheses, x and x. And it's multiplying to get 50 and combining to get negative 5. Well, quickly I can tell that this pair here, I can subtract those in a way to get negative 5. Which means if I want negative 5, that 10's got to be negative, and this one's got to be positive. So this, if I multiply, do a check, that will be negative 50. So my 5 is positive, and my 10 is negative. Okay. Oh, this one's very similar, but almost the same. But this time it's a little bit different. It is a positive 5x. So 150, 2 and 25, and 5 and 10. Again, factor means I'm going to write these parentheses. Because what two numbers, granted they're funny looking numbers, get this. So I think it's going to be 5 and 10, but how am I going to arrange these positives and negatives there, Mr. Cole?
So it's almost the same as last time, right? But
Yep.
the 10 is going to be the positive one, and 5 is going to be the negative one.
Because when I combine positive 10 and a negative 5, that gives me the positive 5. There's my factorizing.
Okay.